So, hello again. This is some more test review, chapter 3. Again, we're going to be covering two things. We're going to be covering clearing fraction and decimal multi-step equations. We're also going to be looking at literal equations and formulas. Let's go ahead and get started. Again, I would suggest pausing and trying it now. Let's see how you did. All right. The thing is, on one like this, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try to clear these decimals. And I'm going to look at each one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. The most digits that are in the decimal place would be 2. So I'm going to multiply by a 1 with 2 zeros behind it. Essentially what's going to happen is it's going to move each of these decimal places twice to the right. So we have 51y plus 3 equals, again, put a 0 in that empty slot, minus 74. And if you'd watched one of the previous videos, you know that I'll actually go through and solve these with a song. So first distribute, then combine all of your like terms. We can't combine like terms here. Please remember key change, or you will get burned. So we're going to keep change. That's not necessary, but it is optional. Then get all your variables onto the same side. So we're going to pick one of the variables. I'm going to pick this 40y, and we're going to add the opposite. Make sure that you do the same thing onto both sides. (51 plus -40 would be 11y. That gives me 0. That's good. That means that I've used the inverse property of addition, correctly. Okay, then get all your variables onto the same side. First addition or subtraction. Then multiply, divide. And there we go. Now, the best policy would be to try this problem, then go back and check it by plugging everything in. Again, I'm trying to keep the length of the video down as low as I can for bandwidth issues, so we're going to keep moving on. Okay, what happens with a fraction problem? Well, I like to find the least common multiple a little different. Now, we'll not put 10 in twice. I'm just going to put 1 10 inside what I call the magic box. I know there's probably an official name for this somewhere, but I'm not aware of it. All right, so we're going to go through, we're going to pull out anything that can come into at least 2 of these, anything that's divisible by at least 2 of these. I notice that 5 and 10 will be divisible by 5, so he gets a free round. We don't even bother with the 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. I'm going to draw another layer of this. What goes into at least 2 of these? Well, 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Bring down the 1, and you'll notice that if we draw an L for LCD, multiply these through, 5 times 2 is 10, times 1 is 10, times 1 is 10, times 1 is 10. So my least common denominator would be 10. Now I'm going to go through and multiply everything by that 10. Reason being, I found something that's divisible by all the denominators, and I'm going to clear this fraction. The trick, of course, I could always put this over 1, multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, the numerator, the denominator, and reduce. But there is an easier way. I can simply divide by the denominator. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and multiply by the numerator. 5 times 1 is, again, 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2, times 3 is 6. 10 divided by 10 is 1, times 1 is 1. 10 divided by 10 is 1, times 3 is 3. And so I'm going to go through and just solve it from here. First distribute, nope. Then combine all of your like terms. Please remember keep change, which is optional here. or you will get burned. Then get all your variables onto the same side, which has already happened. First addition or subtraction, so we're going to add the opposite of this -6 on the same side with the variable. Then multiply, divide. And there we go. Clear the fractions, and then solve accordingly. Again, pause the video and try this problem. We're going to clear these decimals. We're going to count 2 digits in the decimal place, 2 digits in the decimal place, 1 digit and 1 digit. So we're going to use the most number that we had seen, which would be 2. So we're going to multiply by 1 with 2 zeros, that is 100, 10 to the second power, if you will. And we're going to move the digits over twice. This is going to be 50 and 70, respectively. We have 83y plus 29 equals 50y minus 70. So then we go ahead with a song. First distribute, then combine all of your like terms. Cannot do either one of those. Please remember key change, or you will get burned, although it's not really necessary in this case. Then get all your variables onto the same side. Oops, I messed up here. And the same thing. Okay, then get all your variables onto the same side. First addition or subtraction. So we're going to eliminate the addition on the same side with the variable. Add its opposite. First addition or subtraction, then multiply, divide. And there we have it. Okay, again, pause the video and try this problem. We're going to put 9, 3, 6, and 18 in the little magic box. 3 goes into all of these. And now we're going to have to choose something in at least 2 of them. I see 2 goes into these. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I see 3 will go into these. These get a free round. 3 divided by 3, 1. 3 divided by 3, 1. Multiply all of these. 3 times 2, 6 times 3, 18. We're going to multiply everything by 18. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Times 4 is 8. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Times 4 is 24. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Times 1 is 3. 18 divided by 18 is 1 plus 11. Excuse me, times 11 is 11. Don't add the numerator. Multiply by the numerator. Okay, so first distribute, then combine all of your like terms, which we cannot do. Please remember key change, which is just optional here. You don't have to do that. Or you will get burned. Then get all your variables onto the same side. Okay, then get all your variables onto the same side. First addition or subtraction. So eliminate the addition on the side with the variable. Add its opposite. Then multiply, divide. And there we have it. Again, pause the video and try the problem. We're going to go through and multiply by, we've got 2, 1, 2 decimal places. Multiply by 100. Move the decimal place twice, add a 0, and twice. And here we go. So I'm going to key change change. First distribute, then combine all of your like terms. Please remember key change change or you'll get burned. Then get all your variables onto the same side, which already have happened. First addition or subtraction. So I'm going to use commutative property of addition. Switch these around. And no, I didn't give myself enough room here. Add the opposite of 1,235. Okay, so we're just going to subtract these. Could do it in our head, but better to be safe. Okay, and first addition or subtraction, then multiply, divide. So we get 1m equals, this is going to be negative 3. So m equals negative 3. Okay, again, pause the video and try it. All right, so 4, we don't need to pick two of them. 4 and 2. See what goes into both of them. 2. 4 divided by 2, 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And nothing will go into those except for 1, and that doesn't count in this case. Multiply these for the LCD or LCM, interchangeable here. 2 times 2, 4 times 1 is 4 again. I'm going to multiply everything by 4. All right, I'm using the trick again. 4 divided by 4 is 1, times 3 is 3. 4 divided by 4 is 1, times 1 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2, times 1 is 2. And be very careful here. Even though these don't have a fraction, they don't have a denominator to divide, you still have to multiply. You must distribute. So 4 times 1 would be 4. 4 times 2x is going to be 8x. So first distribute, then combine all of your like terms, which we can do. 3x plus 2x is 5x. I'm just going to switch these, just it's a little more pleasing to the eye. First distribute, then combine all of your like terms. Please remember key change, or you will get burned, which we cannot do. Then get all your variables onto the same side. So we're going to add the opposite of 8x here. And that would be my dog shadow. See, then get all your variables onto the same side. First addition or subtraction, so add the opposite of the term that's on the same side here. First addition or subtraction, then multiply, divide. And there we go. So now we're going to move on to some literal equations. You could also think of them as formulas. And for these, I like to use a special color. I'm going to use red for my special color. Now, what does that mean, special color? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this equation. V equals 1/3 BH. So each time I write it, I'm going to write my special color. It tells me that I am solving for this variable. Whatever happens to be on the other side, I don't really care. I just simply want this variable by itself on its own side. Notice you can draw two sides of this. On this side, I just want this special colored variable. So the first thing I would do is try to get rid of this fraction that's kind of annoying right now. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. I can put this over 1, and with some commutative property multiplication, switch this. And we have this divides to 1. So 3v equals bh. All right, now we want to try to get h by itself, so we're going to undo the multiplication with division. Those divide to 1, and we're left with exactly what we wanted. Of course, we could rewrite it with a special color variable. On the left-hand side, it's just a little preferred. Alrighty. Again, pause the video now and try the problem. Okay. W equals 2x. I know that x is a special color because it tells me. Again, that's my dog Shadow. We're going to add the opposite. All right, first distribute, then combine all of your like terms. Please remember key change, or you'll get burned. Then get all your variables onto the same side, which is hard when they're all variables. First addition or subtraction, so I have to do it in 2 phases. Get rid of all the addition and subtraction, then get rid of the multiplication that's next to the variable. So here that I have both addition of a term and multiplication by this coefficient, I'm going to get rid of the term first by adding its opposite, and then divide by 2 after we're done there. So 2x plus 2y plus negative 2y. And we're going to divide by 2. Now, you could write it this way, or you could write it instead of plus and negative, which is a little messy. We could say equals w minus 2y divided by 2. Either of these are acceptable. Now, just so you're not thrown off, if you're working with a partner, there are some other forms that you could write it. It's not necessary, but it is possible. You could distribute this 2 and say that x equals w divided by 2 minus 2y over 2. So that leaves it as w divided by 2 minus y. So that's another form. All are equivalent, but that's another form it could be. Okay, again, try by yourself. And now let's work it. The special color is A. And this is a technique that's very, very important. If you have a fraction, what I suggest is putting the whole thing almost as a proportion and thinking of it like a proportion. We're going to cross multiply. We're going to have BR equals 3A. So multiply BR equals 3A times 1, which is just 3A. And now it's just very easy. We divide by 3, and we're ready to go. There we go. Again, try it on your own. Pause the video here. Okay, again, special color. The key here is, again, to cross multiply. We're to make two fractions. We're going to cross multiply here. 1 times 1 is 1. A times, careful here, it's not times E, it's times the entire binomial E plus Y. And now we just simply distribute here. AE plus AY. Okay, so now we're back to one of the previous problems where we have to undo the addition in one layer and then undo the multiplication in a second. All right, so subtract AE. Those will subtract to 0. And now divide everything by A. And again, that's not the only form. You could also have Y equals. You could distribute this 1 divided by A minus AE over A. The A's would divide and we'd be left with E. So either of these forms would work. All right, almost done. This and one more. So X is my special. We have M equals 2X minus 2Y. I'm going to keep change here. Again, two ways. First, add the opposite, then divide. So we're going to add 2Y to both sides. And divide by 2. And there's several forms of this corrected answer we have. As we see here, I'm just going to flip it. Symmetric property equality. X equals 2Y plus M divided by 2. We could also divide through, distribute that. Get X equals, distribute that, 2Y divided by 2 would just simply be Y plus M divided by 2. And one problem left. Again, D is my special colored variable. The key is to cross multiply. Put the R over 1. We're going to cross multiply. So D times 1 is D. R times T. And D equals RT. That's exactly what we're looking for. This concludes this part of the review. Thank you so much for listening.